And welcome to another edition of the Pekin First podcast. This is episode 16, and I have titled it, Why Should I Give It Up? Focusing on Lent and why we give up things during Lent.
Wow. All right.
So we will start with our personal best this week.
You want to tell everybody who you are?
Oh, yeah. My name is Josh, and I get the pleasure of serving as the online ministries director here at Pekin First.
They probably know who we are by now, but hey, I'm Sean. I'm the pastor here at Pekin First. It's good to be with you all again this week.
All right, and like I said, we begin every episode with a personal best. It's just a positive way to start everything that we do. And I think I'll go first, and I actually have, I'm going to cheat this week.
All right.
I have two personal bests.
Yeah.
I've had a really, really good week. So the first one is Friday night, this last Friday night, we got invited to a fundraiser, and it was in downtown Peoria, and it was for the Rotary Club. They had, number one, they had an awesome band who's Dexter O'Neill and the Funk Yard. If you've never heard them, they're great. And the other one was, they also had the Manual drum line. So Manual High School is in a underserved neighborhood, and the drum line is I didn't know they still had drum lines.
Wow.
I had no idea. And so I caught a little video, which I want to kind of show or let everybody listen to. Just it's 20 seconds long.
Cool.
It's not very good video because I was sitting at a table and I was just so struck. But these are kids that could, on a Friday night, be out doing gosh knows what, right? And here they are performing, and they are performing their hearts out. So here's just a taste of this. It was so impressive. It was so loud, and it was perfection. So I thank you to the Rotary organization for hosting that, and they raised a lot of good money for some good causes to serve families and children. So that was awesome. My second one is today. This is the day we're recording, which is Thursday, March 6th. Today is my wife's birthday. Her 50th birthday. She's not going to like that I just said that probably,
right.
But it is her 50th birthday, and we have been working, me and our children have been working diligently to plan a surprise birthday party. This is the hardest woman on the face of the planet to surprise, because she is into everything, and she wants to help with everything, and so this has been a challenge. We're planning a great get-together tonight at a local restaurant downtown, and it is going to be just a great time. I think I've got it all worked out. So yeah, it's supposed to be great.
That is exciting and awesome, and happy birthday, Zena. If you hear this tomorrow, this is a surprise, I guess, today, she won't hear it till tomorrow.
That's right.
My personal best, Josh, was last night here at the church. We had a combined worship service for Ash Wednesday with our sister church, Grace United Methodist Church, right down the street, and it really was just an awesome night. It was started off with time with our children. We probably had about 20 children upstairs, and Pastor Eric and I got to share with the children what Ash Wednesday and what Lent is all about. And then we came downstairs. We had a combined choir. I don't know how many were in the choir, but their voices were wonderful. It was heavenly as they sang. Our sanctuary was packed, and that's not what it's all about, but what it is all about is that we're together. There's community happening, there's collaboration happening, and we are all together in a space reflecting on what it means to be Christians at this season and this time of everything that's going on in our world right now. What does that mean for us as we start our Lenten journey this year specifically? I think there's a lot for us to consider, and a lot of ways that God is calling us to step up and really be the church in the world right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was a fantastic service. Props to the message that you gave.
Thank you.
And just the way everything was coordinated. It was fantastic. And yes, the combined choir, there's a lot of them up there, and their voices just carried beautiful for sure. If you'd like to see that, we did record that, and we went live last night. So you can see that on our webpage. You can see it on our app, or you can go back in Facebook or YouTube and check it out. It was a great service. All right. This is episode 16. Why should I give it up? So as we start the season of Lent, some of us start to practice fasting, if you will, and that is a way that we see it as a way to grow spiritually, or that's the way it was intended, is to grow spiritually. So we give up something to help us grow closer to God. And we take, like, when we get a craving for what we've given up, or if we've given up something that requires time, we take that and we say prayers, and we can read the Bible or a spiritual read or anything like that, or by going to a small group. If it's, I'm going to stop going out to eat, stay out of restaurants more, and going to a small group during the time that you would normally eat is a good way to fill that time and grow in your faith. This Lent, I gave up sugar. And I say sugar, I gave up sweet snacks. I gave up intentional sweets, right? I gave up cookies, and I gave up donuts and ice cream. And I gave that up because that is one of my biggest weaknesses. And I've given up ice cream before, but then I've increased on the donuts, right? And then I gave up donuts, but I increased on the ice cream.
Right. Yeah. Defeats the purpose. Yeah.
Defeats the purpose. Yeah. So I've given up that, and it is a challenge. It has already been a challenge for me because Thursday mornings I take my daughter to school, and on the way to school we stop and get a donut at Casey's. And guess what? I couldn't get this morning.
Right. No donuts.
No. She, of course, got one and had no qualms about it.
Rude.
So I know plenty of people that give up plenty of things, and it's all for the at the end of the season. Jesus gave up. God gave the ultimate gift, and Jesus gave His life for us, and it's just one small way that we can feel a sacrifice.
Yeah. If I may, I'll just say a couple things about that. Just in terms of the reason why we fast, I mean, first of all, the word fast is just a strange word that people probably go, what does that mean? It just means to deny yourself. It means to give up, as you say, give up something that means something to us so that we can draw closer to God. And the whole season of Lent, the 40 days of Lent, is based on the 40 days that Jesus spent in the wilderness before he was baptized and entered into his ministry. And while he was in the wilderness, he fasted for 40 days. He was tempted by the enemy, but he came through that. And as he came through that, he was then baptized, and the Father spoke those great words, "This is my Son in whom I'm well pleased." So we journey with Jesus through a season of wilderness walkings, perhaps during this time. We think about our own mortality. We think about what we need to repent from. It's just a time for us to really intentionally carve out some time in our lives to reflect and to remember the suffering of Christ and what we might do to deny ourselves from some things. I last night said that, in Matthew chapter 6, Jesus is preaching the Sermon on the Mount, and he talks about when you fast. He says, when you fast, don't do this. The expectation is that we're going to fast. The world tells us consume. It says take, get, consume, do whatever you want to do because it's your life, and you're not hurting anybody. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you may die. And that's sort of the philosophy of the world about how to live the best life. And Jesus tells us, no, the best life is to deny yourself. The best life is to give some things up. The best life is to learn how to maneuver yourself through this world in such a way that it's not all about you. It actually is about denying yourself, taking up your cross, and following Christ and giving it away.
That's right. And like I said, just giving up sugar for me was huge. And what Jesus gave for me, it's the smallest token.
Right.
And I I try to resist things that I know that are bad for me. So just an example, when I decided 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, it's been a while, that you know what, this is something I need to do. I've struggled with a weight problem over the past few years, just getting older and not exercising enough and all the things, and the giving up sugar. I'm like, you know what? This is a dual thing. It's going to be hard. I know it's going to be hard. I could take the easy road. Well, I'm going to give up, something that I don't do very often. I'm going to give up exercise because I don't do that very often, right?
Right.
I could go the easy road, but I wanted it intentionally to be difficult. And here's example number one today is went to go get my wife and one of my stepdaughters are gluten-free people. The only people that make gluten-free cakes is Trefsker's Bakery in Peoria Heights. So I wanted to get her a cake. I knew she couldn't have gluten. So I went to Trefsker's this was a couple weeks ago, ordered the cake and some cupcakes that are not gluten-free, ordered all that. I had to walk in there today to get it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to talk about walk into a bakery
That's right.
everything is cupcakes and cookies and cakes, and there it is. And I'm looking at this thing and I can feel my hunger for them.
Right.
And so God will tempt you during the 40 days. Jesus was tempted during the 40 days. We're going to get tempted.
Yeah.
For sure.
I remember my son was little. He used to give up things like broccoli, and one year he gave up sarcasm. I'm like, son, it really does need to be something that's difficult. We talk a lot about the internet and social media and stuff now too, how addicted we are to our devices and things, and perhaps fasting from those types of things. I saw a post from a friend of mine who said I don't remember, 3.5 hours every day he's on his phone. He's figured out that roughly about 3.5 hours every day he's doing something, scrolling through his phone. He's going to give that up for Lent. Wow. And that's 3.5 hours now that he's got free to himself to read or pray or find some meaningful activity to serve others or do something where he can grow spiritually. So
absolutely. I found a quote the other day, and it was from a reverend in the United Methodist Church, and his name is Joseph Yo, and he talks about giving up things to remind ourselves that suffering and pain that we know Jesus will experience at the end of the season. That's what you should give up, right? Is things that are gonna not be so easy, and we also gives up. Like if you give up caffeine, that shouldn't be the thing that compels you to live. God's love and grace is what should compel you to live. And that kind of hit home. I'm like, giving up sweets should not be a huge thing for me.
Right.
God loves me and has grace, and that should be what compels me to live and love. Like I said before, when I get a craving for when I get a craving for a sweet or donut or ice cream, when the family's having ice cream and I'm not, or this morning when Emily got a donut, I've brought myself to, this is what I'm going to do when I get those cravings, and that is say a prayer.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be, and it's not the prayer of God give me the strength to not eat a donut. It is something else that has went on that I've seen throughout the day, or just thanking God for the blessings that I have in my life, that I have the option to not eat sweets.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not hungry, so hungry that I'm going to eat anything. I have that option. God has blessed me with a roof and food and stuff like that. So I've went to saying a prayer.
When we consider the as you've said already, but it bears repeating, when you consider the sacrifice that Jesus made on our behalf, what he gave up, his health, his life, his blood, so that we might have eternal life, that we might be able to live an abundant, fruitful life now. Man, I mean, anything that we give up and have a little bit of a hunger pain or a little bit of a desire for or a temptation for, it pales in comparison to the sacrifice that Jesus made on our behalf. So we think about that. We remind ourselves that God gave his very son, his one and only son for us so that we might have life and have it abundantly.
Absolutely. And no matter what you've done or when you've done it, it is just, he forgives you. And that's why you should.
That's this Sunday. Yeah. That's this weekend. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Yep.
Yeah. So if you're thinking about giving up chocolate, do it. But ask yourself, how will it bring me closer to God?
Right.
Mine is, I'm giving up something that that is painful or hard to give up, and when that craving arrives, then I'm going to say a prayer. Side note, we're going to do a side note here. So 3 weeks ago, I decided this. 2 weeks ago, I went to the doctor. Yesterday, I got my blood test results. And the doctor sent me a note, and he said, you need to give up sugars and carbs.
Wow.
How about that?
Yeah.
You want to talk about God talking to you?
Yeah, exactly.
There it is.
Yep.
Right. There is that. When we talk about God talking to us or speaking to us, that is what that is right there. That was not a coincidence. That was God saying, it is time for you to get healthy. So it's time to do it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. So God's grace is what gets us through every day. So when you are thinking about what you're going to give up or you're saying a prayer, just remember that for sure.
Yeah.
All right. We have plenty of things going on here at Pekin First during Lent. As you can see by the background, if you're watching us on YouTube behind us, we have so much going on. We have the new sermon series that is starting. It is the 7 words, listening to Jesus from the cross.
Yep.
And we have all kinds of activities going on, including the sermon series that starts this weekend.
Yeah, lots going on. And if there's somebody listening who just maybe doesn't know what Lent means, I think it bears repeating again every week as we talk through this. This is fancy theological, Christianese, churchy words, and maybe you're not part of a church, but you're wondering what this is all about. Lent is a 6-week period that leads us up to the cross. It leads us up to ultimately Easter Sunday, but we don't think about Easter until we get there. We got to get to the cross first. So we travel with Jesus for 40 days. And this Lenten season, we've decided we're going to look at the 7 last words, phrases that Jesus spoke from the cross according to the 4 Gospels. And 7 times he said something aloud that somebody remembered and passed on. And so we have those today, and they are so meaningful. And we're going to be looking at those every weekend on Saturday and Sunday at our worship services. And then there'll be small groups that'll be throughout the week. We have a Sunday morning, 9 a.m., a Tuesday morning, 9 a.m., and a Wednesday evening, 6 p.m. small group that will be covering the book written by Susan Robb, who is a United Methodist pastor. 7 words, listening to Jesus from the cross. And then we have our Lenten lunches, too, that'll begin next Wednesday. And that will be a lot of fun. We're going to have free lunch, donation only for anybody who would like to come. There'll be a guest speaker. We have different ministers from around the area who will be speaking. Next Wednesday will be Reverend Judy Doyle, who is a retired minister from this church, who is now serving the Glassford United Methodist Church in retirement.
I was going to say she's anything but retired.
She's anything but retired. That's right. And she will give us a wonderful message. And so I hope you'll come 12 o'clock starting next Wednesday, every Wednesday up until Holy Wednesday.
Absolutely. And then, so we got the Lenten lunches. And if you want to, the Bible study that's on Wednesday evening, if you're interested in joining that one online, that is held through Microsoft Teams as well. Just email info@pekinfirst.org and Geraldine will get you the link you need to join that one. Yep. And then also, the Lenten lunches. You can register for these online. We'd like to get a count of how many people are coming. Just go to pekinfirst.org, and right there on the front page, you can click on the event and you can see who's coming, what we're serving, and it is all donation based. So if you can't pay, don't worry about it. Not a big deal. Just come as you are and listen to this program. Judy Doyle will be fantastic, I'm sure, and we got some great other people that will be joining us throughout the Lenten season. Yep. So you can register right there. So We do have an Easter egg hunt coming up the Saturday before Easter as well, and that is if you get to our website, it's also listed there, I believe. And there's 2 age groups: one that's not so dark, and one that's at dark and glow in the dark.
Glow in the dark. Yeah, love it. Love
Yep.
it. Yep.
So great things going on here at Pekin First. We have our normal worship service, which is Friday nights at 5 p.m. Saturday night, sorry, at 5 p.m. And that one is in person and has the choir and the organ and stuff like that. We have an 8 a.m. Service.
Communion
service.
Yeah.
Wow.
Every week.
And it's a shorter service. So if you're just thinking about checking out a church during the Lenten season and it's a shortened service, you can come in and out, as you are. And it's just a quicker way. We're short one hymn.
Yeah.
So it makes it a little quicker. And then we do have the 10 a.m. service that is broadcast online. It is our contemporary service. This week, I just have to say, and this wasn't planned, it wasn't in my outline or anything like that. This week has been a really rough week for me, I know. Just in so many different ways. I've been on the edge of tears many times this week, and I know there's somebody out there. I know there's people out there that feel the same way, and I just want to say that I am praying for you as I'm praying for myself, and just know that if you need somebody to reach out, you can contact me. My direct email is podcast@pekinfirst.org. That comes directly to me. You can reach out to me. Let's have a discussion. Let's pray for each other. Let's come together in fellowship and love on one another to make it through whatever you have going on.
Yep. And
just reach out. Pastor Sean is 90% here at the church during the day and sometimes at night, halfway through the night sometimes. So feel free. Anyone here at the church can help you or just be with you or pray with you or pray for you.
Do not go through what you're going through alone.
Absolutely.
Don't do it. There's always going to be somebody there, and especially here at this church, we want you to know that there is always going to be somebody who will listen, who will help guide you through whatever you're going through. If you need to maneuver through the social system here in Pekin or anywhere, we can help you. We can help you find answers to whatever it is that you need. And most importantly, we can pray for you and lift you before our God who loves you and cares about you and does really, really want to have a relationship with you.
Awesome. All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you and hearing us next week. Wow,
Yeah,
I messed that
that's
up.
all
Just
right.
totally messed that up. We look forward.
You know what he meant.
That's right. We look forward to seeing you next week. For now, my name is Josh, and I get to serve as the Online Ministries Director.
I'm Sean. I'm the pastor here.
Different every time. All right. Have a great week. And remember, God put us here to do great things. So let's go do great things.